Hey everybody, Rob here from FLX Bike with another Babymaker production update. And hang tight because we do have new footage from inside our third factory location. Very exciting stuff. First of all, if you are enjoying these production updates, please take 1 second to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can see the next production update first. Before we get to the footage inside the factory, I promised I would share a bit more behind the scenes. So all of the challenges, major challenges we faced for the week, I'll be sharing those with you right here. So without further ado, let's get right into those challenges of the week. So the very first thing that has come up is a tight box size. At our third facility, we had actually modified the size of the box. Moving forward from our original prototypes to production boxes, there was a bit of a miscommunication with our third facility who made boxes all of the same size, our old size box. They came up like a centimeter and a half short of our newer size boxes, which led to a fitment issue with the bikes, the 23-inch large frame bikes fitting into those boxes. It was super tight. So we've been working hard on that to get new boxes made that will fit those with plenty of room so that nothing is squeezed. We've got 3 containers worth of bikes ready to go from that facility, but the boxes aren't quite there yet. So we're pushing hard on those. We really want to get these bikes out to you guys before the Chinese New Year sets in. So if we can't get those new boxes in time, we do have a contingency plan, which involves removing some air from the tires just to get that clearance for the bikes. But we'll keep you updated on that. Top priority is to get your bikes out. So the box is a bit challenging. For now, we are boxing all the 19-inch bikes that are ready to go in that box because there's plenty of room and waiting on the new boxes to come. So fingers crossed that those will arrive in the next day or two here and we can continue packaging the 23-inch Babymakers as well. The next major challenge of the week has been shipping container availability. We touched on this in the last update. The entire logistics, freight globally, this whole network has been completely slammed. So we typically work with a freight forwarder who arranges all the shipments, etc. And they only have a certain amount of allotted space per shipping line. So they're completely flat out. We do have 3 containers, like we said, ready to go from this facility, but we only got space for 1 container. We were calling them, they could only do 1 no matter what. So I got on the horn with those guys to see if they could find anything. Troy's been working with our other factories, trying to find other freight forwarders and just find 2 more container spots. Right now, it's looking like we're gonna be able to get all 3 containers on the water through different shippers. So we'll keep you updated on that. It looks very good right now, but a very close call in terms of being able to get all 3 out before the holiday. So we'll keep you posted on those next 3 containers in the next update. On the logistics side, we did let you know about some bikes going to the wrong people in Europe. All of those bikes have been brought back except for the few folks who decided to keep the wrong color. And those bikes are being redistributed to the correct people this week, all but 1. So there is a shortage of 1 bike due to people keeping the different color bike. We will be reaching out to you, sorry, whoever it was. You can expect an email from our rider support team to sort that out. Production in Europe for all European bikes and UK bikes is ongoing, and those bikes will continue to ship over the coming weeks. Lastly, the only thing to keep in mind is our port congestion. Both leaving port and arriving into port is slowing some things down on the logistics front, but it's a constant challenge at the moment. So we'll keep you updated. Any delays we get on shipping containers, etc., you can expect an update from us. Before I get into the factory footage, just a reminder, we do have a YouTube live tomorrow, January 27th at 2 p.m. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions about Babymakers, bikes, etc., I look forward to seeing you on the live tomorrow. All right, let's get into that factory footage. So here's some footage from inside of our third production facility. Last week, we showed you the making and painting of the frames, and now this week it is assembly of the bike. So let's get right into it. One thing that is overlooked a little bit is when all these components arrive, they're built by different manufacturers, different factories, where we don't have as much control over their quality standards as when they come in. So one thing that's super important for us is that every component that comes in goes through an inspection. So it's an arrival inspection. Make sure those components live up to the standards that they need to be to build you a quality bike. Just an example of this is a spacer that goes on the rear hub of the Babymaker, and that goes kind of in between the motor and the sprocket back there, the rear cog you see right there. Something super important is that they are built to exacting standards, completely flat, both the spacer and the rear cog there. So when they come in, they're inspected that they're completely flat. You can see the angle on this one is actually a little bit off. So we had to do a full inspection on every single part here, not just the spacer, but also the cogs as well. Full inspection, make sure they are flat and all the points line up. The ones that don't, they're rejected, sent back to the factory where they came from, and we await new components to come in. So that's just one of the filter processes that we do at all of our factories to make sure that the components that come in are suitable to build you that quality bike. So moving on here, we do have the front chain ring and crank and that axle being pressed into them. Make sure it fits. We have a gauge here that makes sure the chain ring, that it all lines up, it's straight, and none of the points like stick out and are going to damage the belt. So here we are inside the actual production room. You see some work on the rim, the wheel, making sure that's completely straight. We do build the wheels in-house, which is pretty fun. So this is a gauge, it's a wheel truing gauge. Now moving on, you see the actual conveyor belt, which carries the bikes through the production line. So each person here has their own responsibility. One could be doing the wires, the next one putting the kickstand on, the next one putting the battery in. Once the bike is fully assembled, it does go through an inspection process by our factory technician. So this one, plugging it in, making sure it charges up, that there's no issues with the wiring. Moving on from there, that the front wheel is true, both brake levers function properly, that the wheel can move freely, but not too freely. That's a delicate balance there. Checking visually for any blemishes in the paint, any scratches, scrapes, smudges. Those are no good. Continue that visual inspection, checking out the brakes, nothing's loose. The rear wheel spins freely and straight and true. That the belt, when moved to different positions, that is also has just enough tension, not too much, not too loose as well. When we do install those, we do use a proper gauge to do that. That the display turns on, and you'll see that is that newer style display. The walk mode function. So this is a good test just to make sure that motor is working. That puts some power in through it. Now the pedal assist, checking that, making sure it does spin. The motor powers it. Checking the brakes, stop it. So that's a very basic functional inspection. Before it's packaged as well, there is more visual inspection. Now check that out. It is a sea of Babymakers ready to go. We do have over 500 Babymakers ready to ship from this facility at the moment. They're being loaded up in containers as we speak. Super exciting. A lot of orange and black bikes you'll see because those were the most commonly ordered colors, orange, black, and sterling. As we mentioned, sterling, we got to hold off on for just a bit because of those hoods that we're waiting on. Okay, that is all of the footage I've got for this week's production update. You can expect more next week as well. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and comment. It really means the world to us to hear your feedback and to know how we can serve you better. Again, we will have a YouTube live tomorrow at 2 p.m. So be sure to check that out if you want to chat with me live on the air. I'll be answering your questions. Thank you again for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.